Stop making excuses. If you want to travel, get your ass up, book a ticket, and go. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jay Russell. Today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my top travel tips on how I book my trip. That's not what I tried to say. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jay Russell. Today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you on how I book my trips when I travel. So this is probably one of the most popular questions I get from a lot of people. They say like, bro, like, how do you be traveling to all these places by yourself, and how do you know what to do? Do you book the itinerary in advance? You know, like, I'm lost. So that's what we're gonna be talking about today. So if you spent 2021 as a weak ass, lame ass, scary ass punk, well then today, this is your chance to redeem yourself, because hopefully by the end of this video, you know, you had the courage and the confidence to go out there and go travel. And guys, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And honestly, I could book a trip the night before. I think the fastest I ever booked an international trip was literally the day before. So yeah, it just takes practice, and once you do it a lot, you'll get good at it. All right, so the first thing you need to do when booking a trip is your research. You have to do your research. You have to know about the place that you're trying to go to. So typically how I pick my countries is I go based off a price point. And so if I get a good deal on a flight to go out to a country, that's pretty much how I book my vacation. So unless it's just a specific place I know that I really, really want to go to, I'll probably book that like months and months in advance. But most of the time when I be going on trips, it just be kind of like random. So, you know, I check skyscanner.com, and by the way, I already did a video about Skyscanner. That's how I find like really, really cheap flights. So if you want to know how to do that, I'm going to leave a link to the video right there on how to find cheap flights. But I pick good deals, and then I just fly out there. So for example, when I went to Panama was actually not a country I had a desire to go to. I didn't really care to go to Panama, but I saw that it was a cheap deal to go out there. I was like, all right, why not go to Panama? So once you decide the country that you want to go to, then you need to start doing research about that country. Before I get into the research, the flight is probably going to be the most expensive thing of your travel experience. And so it's very imperative that, like, if you do find a deal, you just hop on it immediately, because prices change by the day, by the hour. So like one day the price could be one thing, and then the next week it could be something completely different. So just make sure when you do find a good deal, you try to jump on it immediately. All right, so yeah, back to research. You're gonna just start researching about the country. There's Google, there's YouTube, there's Reddit. There's so many sources out there for you to be able to start researching a city and a country. So you find places that suit you. So, you know, if you're more of a laid back type of person, then, you know, you might wanna go to a city that's a little bit more quiet. Or if you're somebody who's busy and is always on the go like me, then you might want to go to a bigger city. So you just kind of got to pick a place that's most suitable for you. But once you do that, then you can start to begin to figure out where you want to stay. Hotels and Airbnbs. You do not have to stay in a 5-star hotel. You don't have to, okay? Now I do it sometimes, you know, depending on the occasion, or maybe I just want to do it, you know, every now and then. Like I think the last place I went to was a 5-star suite, but you know, most of the time when I travel, I try to find somewhere in between, you know, nothing too ratchet, but nothing like too extravagant. Like I try to find like, you know, somewhere in the middle. Now back in my earlier travel days, like I even went as far as doing hospitals. So, you know, that's like another affordable way if you don't really want to spend a lot of money. But the big question that I tell people is, how much time are you really going to be spending in your hotel room? Okay, for me, I'm always on the go. I'm always out, I'm doing things. I don't really spend a lot of time in the hotel unless I'm going to sleep. So sometimes you gotta ask yourself, is it worth getting a 5-star suite? For example, when I went to Aruba, I stayed in a 5-star resort, but like not every single time I travel, I have to stay in a 5-star place. Like you don't have to spend all your money on that. Like you can use that money towards your trip, you know? So as long as the place is clean, it's comfortable, and it's safe, then, you know, I don't really have too many issues with it. But pretty much how I pick the hotels, I look at price and location. So those are the two things. I try to find a decent price, and then I try to find a good location. I want to make sure it's in a location that's close to everything. I don't want it to be too far out, because then that's something else you have to factor in, is transportation. So if you're gonna have to take Ubers to get around to a lot of places, or taxis. But if you pick a place or a hotel or Airbnb that is in a good area, you know, and it's walking distance, then you can actually save some money. So that's something that I do when I pick my hotels. It's kind of like a little scavenger hunt. You just kind of got to look at the map and see like the things that you want to do in the country that you visit in, and see how far it is from your hotel. Oh, one quick thing I forgot to mention is when you are booking your hotels, like say for example, you're booking through Expedia, I will go on this website called TripAdvisor and look up the hotel just to see what other travelers have said about the hotel, because sometimes hotels, they post pictures that are dated or they're not like the most up-to-date recent pictures. And so, you know, this picture might be from 10 years ago, but then when you go on TripAdvisor and you look at the photos that the travelers take, that's what I love about TripAdvisor is you actually see what the travelers take from their cell phones, and they can show you. TripAdvisor is gonna show you everything. It's gonna show you if there was a roach in the bathroom, okay, if there was a leak anywhere, if the food was nasty. They're gonna give you the real deal. So like before you book anything on like those websites like Kayak or Expedia or whatever, always check on TripAdvisor. And if you're doing it through Airbnb, just always look through the reviews. If the Airbnb has 0 reviews, then I wouldn't book with them. You wanna make sure that you book a place that has a lot of reviews so you know what you're spending your money on. All right, last but not least, excursions and activities. So pretty much when I go on my trips, typically on the first day, that's like my day to kind of fill out everything. You know, I might go get dinner and just kind of see my surroundings. And then the second day, that's when I start booking activities. So one thing that I don't recommend people to do is build like a full itinerary and just book like a bunch of different activities, because for one, a lot of times you'll find that some of these places, they'll sell it to you cheaper in person. Especially if you're staying in like a tourist spot, there'll be people outside selling you like packages. And a lot of times you go on the internet, it'll be like way more. For example, when I went to Brazil to go see the Christ Redeemer statue, I think they were trying to charge me like $100 on TripAdvisor just to have like a personal tour guide to walk me through there, when literally, you know, I could have spent like $17, $20 on my own. And that's actually what I ended up doing. I just went up there by myself because I didn't need a tour guide. Because what will happen is on those websites where you do book the excursions, they'll charge you for the excursion itself, then the convenience fee, then the tax fees. Like they'll just add so many fees, and then you just ended up spending way more. So I would just wait before like booking excursions. And a lot of times you might find stuff that you didn't know about. So like that does happen a lot too. Like you might arrive to a country and you be like, oh dang, I didn't know about this, but you done filled up your whole calendar. So yeah, once again, if you are gonna be using third-party websites like TripAdvisor or Viator to book your excursions, you know, I might only do like 1 or 2 things. Usually when I travel to a country, there's like 1 or 2 things I already know that I'm gonna do. So, you know, I might book, for example, let's go back to Brazil. Like I already knew there were certain things that I just wanted to do. Like I knew for a fact I wanted to go to the favela. I knew for a fact that I wanted to go see the statue. So like I did book through a third-party website for those trips. But like all the other little things, you know, it was just kind of go with the flow. And that's pretty much how I go when I travel. Go with the flow is the easiest. The only time I'll say where you would really need an itinerary, like a full itinerary, is if you travel with a big group of people. And that's because people, they're very indecisive and they have like a lot of conflicting interests. And if it's just you or like one other person and it's just a small little group, then I would just say go with the flow. Like typically that's just the easiest thing to do. But yeah, that's pretty much how I plan my trips. I don't really plan too much. As you see, like I just kind of just go with the flow. Just book that plane ticket first. That's gonna probably be the biggest expense. The next thing is the hotel. The hotel, you have a lot more flexibility in terms of price. And then the last thing is you just figure out what you want to do when you get there, or you can do a little bit of your own research on YouTube, you know, or different websites to kind of figure out what to do. But it's really not that hard. And like once stated before, once you do this so many times, it becomes very easy, and it kind of becomes fun because it's like you exploring, and it's like an adventure. But yeah, I hope this all helps. Please, if you are somebody who wants to travel this year, just do it. Just get on a plane and go. Don't think about it. If you got friends that, you know, they keep backing out of it and they say like, oh, I'm gonna go, and they just end up not going, don't wait for them, just go. Like you don't need somebody else to travel with you. Like, but yeah guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and catch you on the next video. All right, peace.